We're interviewing Fidel, Marguerita, Mercedes, and Jennifer of the Luz Divina Church here in Pucallpa, Peru. How many years have you been pastoring this church?
A los años que estoy en ministerio, hay un pueblito que se encuentra por el río Pachitea, es un pueblo que se llama Bello Horizonte, jurisdicción del distrito de Buenavista. Ahí estuve pastoreando por un lapso de 3 años.
First, I was pastoring for 3 years along the river Pachitea, 6 years in 2 other churches, and then 8 years now as the presbytery overseeing the 26 satellite churches. And she's been 15 years pastoring here at the church. And I've been here about 12 and a half years, 13 years in June. My first 3 years I worked with Food for the Hungry, lived in a small river village about 3 hours upriver, and then have been at this church almost 10 years.
How many members were there when you took it over from the previous pastor?
1, 3.
Three.
Were there any satellite churches at that time?
Tres.
3 satellite churches that had been started by the pastor who was here before Mercedes came to take over.
How many satellite churches are there now?
1. So 30 satellite churches. There are 26 officially, affiliated and have pastors, etc., and 4 that are in the process of building their church, getting kind of a board together, a pastor for the church, etc. So 30 total, including the 4 that are in the process.
Can you describe the economic situation for most of the people in your churches?
En la actualidad está azotando ahorita una crisis en cuanto a los sembríos, mayormente de los sitios rurales que son de las chacras, de los ríos. La gente, la iglesia, los miembros se dedican mayormente al producto que van a llevar, ¿no? Ellos siembran y cosechan para que luego lo vendan al mercado.
So most people are farmers, saying that basically what they are growing, they are eating, and then they're also able to sell some of their product at market, so they're able to buy school supplies, other food products, toilet paper, things that you can't produce on the farm.
Porque mayormente se dedican a lo que es la cosecha, la siembra.
So he's saying that before people, when they would grow products, that it seemed that the land was giving off more produce, producing more than it does now. So he said that he called it a crisis, and an economic crisis for farmers, in the sense that they're not getting as much profit or earnings from their land as they used to. So the pastors have a double job. Fidel was explaining that they're both farmers as well as pastors, so they feel the economic crisis as well.
How about in the cities?
Y en la ciudad, ustedes.
Bueno, en la ciudad el problema a veces es la falta de trabajo por la mucha población. Los trabajos son bastante peleados, se puede decir.
There's a lot of unemployment in our city, scarcity of jobs.
Entonces,
But in our neighborhood, there are very few professionals.
Entonces, mayormente es la gente de escasos recursos económicos.
So for the most part, our members are from the lower class.
Entonces, algunos son pescadores, otros ganan lavando ropa, otros limpiando casas y venden en el mercado.
Some are fishermen, some are cleaning homes, some are washing people's clothes, and others are selling things at the marketplace.
Can you talk a little bit more about the basic health care system here? We talked a little this morning about that, and I think that would be good to share.
A lot of people come from these outlying villages, several hours away, either by boat or by car or banana truck, however you can get here, and they have a serious illness where they need help. Basically, health care, there's almost no type of support like Medicare, Medicaid, etc. There's very few circumstances where they will help with somebody who's in school, an elderly person, or a pregnant woman. But really, in general, you pay for whatever you need. and people who are just eating hand to mouth each day, the typical wage here is $5 a day. And $5 buys your food, it buys a couple school supplies, maybe some paper and a pen for your son who's in school. Now if you have a leaky roof, you have electric bills to pay, and then somebody gets sick on top of that, you can imagine just the whole stress related to that. And I think perhaps partly because of this, that people come to our church and they say, either God's going to heal me or I'm going to die. I mean, we see tons of cancer patients where the doctors, they've been able to pay the doctor to detect what they have. You have bone cancer, you have leukemia, you have whatever, but they have no money for any treatment. And there's no chemotherapy in our area, there's no radiation, very few instruments in the hospital. So you get people like that at your church. We can't pay for hundreds of people to go have chemotherapy treatment in Lima. And these people come and they have this faith and they say, I know God can heal me. And so our prayer and intercessory team knows anytime, day or night, people are going to show up they can be from the hinterlands, come to the city and need prayer for cancer. And people come very decided. I've grown in my faith probably more than anybody else because I see their faith is so great for God. And so part of our job is prayer support for them. Now when they're at the hospital, we're never against the people go to the doctor. That's great. Just a lot of people do not have the money to go, and we can't pay for everyone to get x-rays and operations, etc. But when we can help some people, oftentimes I call them runners. We have these people who go, if you want a visit to a doctor at the hospital, you need to be in line at 4:30 in the morning. So if your son has pneumonia, you're not going to want to take your son at 4:30 in the morning to wait in a line. So we'll send a runner from church to wait in a line at the hospital, and then they'll call on a cell phone saying about 8:30 the doctor's going to see you. And then the mom with her little boy will go to the hospital at 8:30 in the morning for their appointment. Same thing if somebody's having an operation. You need a runner at the door of the operating room to say, if the doctor says, I need more suture, I need a pint of blood, I need more anesthesia, whatever the doctor needs, maybe the operation went longer than he thought, he has to sew up more than he thought, then the runner at the door is ready with some money and goes either to the hospital pharmacy or otherwise into town 3 miles to a pharmacy to buy whatever the doctor needs, run it up to the edge, the door of the operating room, give it to the assistant, who gives it to the doctor, and he continues the operation.
How do people typically come to know about Luz Divina?
Delante de Dios, también delante de la gente, a través de milagros, sanidades, aires libres, cultos familiares.
So the Lord has given us much grace before other men, other people, and through people hearing of miracles, healings, evangelistic, she said like open air evangelistic services that we hold. Earlier she was telling me about our preaching on the radio, on the TV station also.
De esa manera Dios va ampliando la visión, ¿no?
Yeah, un ratito. So a few years ago we had a radio program, and she's saying now we're on the TV program. And also, as we've had some people who have played games with satanic practices, there's a lot of witchcraft in the jungle. So even like with the widget board, and we've had kids come who are literally demon possessed, just out of their mind. And so the teachers come with the other kids in the classroom who have had this problem, and the Lord liberates these people. And then when this happens in another school, the school says, oh, I heard that problem was on the other, they will put it on the TV station or the radio, somebody will hear, oh, at Luz Divina they were healed, and so another classroom will come. So a lot of it is just the word gets out, where was your daughter healed, or oh, my mom had cancer, but she went to church and God did it work in her.
Las oraciones también que tenemos, ¿no? Tenemos 3 veces al día nuestra oración. Y 24 horas está siempre abierto el templo para cualquiera que tuviera una necesidad de acercarse a Dios.
Definitely with the base of prayer. So with the prayer, we have prayer 3 times a day, 8 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 5 in the afternoon. So people know it's on our sign, anybody can come for prayer. And really the building is open 24 hours a day for anybody who needs prayer. We obviously lock it at night, but people know people have come to our door at midnight, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, asking for prayer, and they know that they will always get a response.